Hi all, welcome back to more Skies Above Britain. Um, so I named the first part Chapter 1, Patrol 1, Part 1. So this is Chapter 1, Patrol 1, Part 2, I guess. Yeah, okay. Um, and I enjoyed the way things settled in there at first. I felt pretty good about things. I've maybe not done an awful lot, but it is the same day, it is the same night. I've went and watched 2 games of football and I've had a few beers, so I probably shouldn't be coming back to this, but I was itching to get the game started and got it started earlier on today, and I felt like it went okay. I haven't watched the video back yet, but like I say, not an awful lot happened. But yeah, I want to do more. I want to get fighting something. Um, so hopefully there's not been any glitches up to now. So yeah, I think I left things moving into the order. I've got the cards set up here. Yeah, I'm just trying to think where we were. Yeah, we got. I maybe don't know all the terminology of what we're doing right now. I suppose the sequence of play might be quite handy to look at, Grant. Yeah, and like I say, because of the bomber formation area, is that what that is? Like I say, getting things named properly, maybe not the best right now. Yeah, it limits my space around here really. I could push that up. It's just that, I mean, I've got space down here. I can see I've got the sequence of play and it's still on the table, but the camera's got to go somewhere, the tripod, and that's as far as I can zoom out, so we're not getting everything there. However, there's a little bit of space up the top there, so I could probably push that up a bit, push this up a bit. Maybe should do that, because yeah, I mean, I can stretch up and do things. Yeah, let's get a wee bit more space here. Right, as we push things up a little bit, and I can move. Oops, maybe not do that, Grant. I can move the tripod in a bit to look at things a bit better from there, and yeah, and then it might let me look at the player aid here or the rulebook or something in this area. Yeah, so we were moving on at the interception sequence. That's what we were on. And the first step of that, first phase of that is orders. These phases are these steps. I think so. This is the sequence. This is a phase. This is a phase. This is a step. Maybe it's something like that, isn't it? So orders. That's what we're on first, and we've got our formation on the map. We've got them in the tail position, high altitude, and the tail position. So, which looked like it was slightly better way of dealing with that, going by just what I've seen, and certain dice rolls I might need. So, orders. If escort stations are not yet on the intersection map, roll a die to place them there. See situational manual. Well, we've done that. We've got the one escort station. It's heavy 109s and the trailing station. Okay. And then, so if the visibility is not clouds, roll a die and place bomber tiles in the bomber formation area unless they're already there. Well, we've done that as well. And I don't think we've done them, we've not done this before we needed to. I think it was right. So next is formations. Squadron, flight, or section that are on the interception map must be assigned in order, 27, or immediately return to base. Right, and if no formations are on the interception map, go to card 18 and entropy phase. Well, we've got formations on the map, and it is a so squadron, flight, or section. That is a squadron. Now, let me just grab these because I might actually be using these. I know this is a squadron 2 as well, which I'm not quite sure how you go about using that. Anyway, that's a squadron, and then these are 2 flights, A and B. And then a section. A section would be, actually we've got wee counters for them as well. I'll bring them across as well. Here's a section marker for yellow. So it's a little cube like that. This would mess about on this map here. All these can go in this map, I think. Whereas the fighters themselves up here, they're all in the different sections. Because that's yellow section. So that represents these guys. That's A flight, which represents red and yellow. You can see A flight. And that's B flight, which represents green and blue. And this represents a whole lot. Okay, so the reason I'm bringing these across is I think we can break these down. Now, I'm not sure yet. I'm going to have a little glance at this, but I think it could be possible that I not only could break that down into A and B, but I think I might be able to break that down into, let's just say we keep A together, the red and the yellow, and we've got green and blue. Let's just say, I'm not sure about this yet. I'm maybe going to have a look, that we could break this down into green and blue, this one, and then we could take this away and they could all be high here, and then they could do different things. So we could give an order to this, and then an order to that, and then an order to that. It's probably, assuming I can do that, I don't think I'm going to do that. I think the most I might do is break this down into 2 flights, which, yeah, I'd like to do this. And I think I can do this, and then A flight can go and try and go for the escorts, and B flight can go, just try and go straight for the bombers. So that we can try and suppress the escort station so that it doesn't give us any grief. Let me just see if I can find where it talks about this in the rules. Because we must be at that bit right now, so must be signed in order 27. So it's 27 in the rule book. Give me a second. Okay, so here we go. Page 27, like I said. Like I say, all these things are referenced, even on the sequence of play cards, which is great. So it says 1, orders phase. Assign an order to each. I'll zoom in a little bit there. Assign an order to each RAF formation on the interception map. You may split a formation by assigning an order to a lower echelon formation within it. For example, assign an order to one section, thereby breaking that section out of the squadron. In this case, you would place the section marker in the position with the squadron marker, assigning it an order marker. Yeah, that's just what I said we could do, because they are sections. That's right, yeah. So I could split into 2 flights, or I could bring one section along as well. I can split any way I like, I think. Yeah, in fact, here's the orders example. Does it not show it? You can see it on the map there. Let me try and show the map as well. So, orders example, the squadron is in the port position at low altitude. That's the squadron marker. The player opts to assign each flight its own order, thus dividing the squadron in 2, making it A and B. A flight and B flight. Flight A receives an escort order. Flight B receives a bomber's order. This is what we're going to do. I think we're going to do this. Both flights are in the port position at low altitude as well. It doesn't say that, but they're both. We just replace that with the 2 flights and give them different orders. They're both in the same position and both at the same altitude. Also carries on here. Note that both flights could be given the same order. If so, they would resolve their orders one at a time. Okay. For example, if both are assigned the escort order, you would resolve one flight's order and then resolve the other, and they could target the same or a different station. In contrast, if both flights are assigned the same order and will target the same station, and you want them to perform that order simultaneously, do not divide the squadron. Instead, assign an escort order to the squadron instead of to each flight. Yeah, okay, so if you want them to do it all together, you don't split them up. Yeah, that makes sense. So we've got, yeah, and then coming back to, we've got 3 different orders that we can assign. Right, yeah, and without delving deeply into the rules, I'm sure I'll come back to these and look at these more carefully. We've got bombers order, cruise order, and escort order. Let's just say the cruise order allows me to move somewhere else on the map, right? Move to a better position, which isn't a bad idea when you look at, you want to be in a place where you've got a better chance at intercepting and then dealing with things better. And then you've got bombers order. Well, that's clear. We're going to try and intercept the bombers, and then the escort order is try to intercept the escorts, right? So yeah, so I'm going to do one of the bombers, one of the escort. We're going to skip the cruise order just now as well, but I don't know. It might be that a better idea is to spend that one order to position myself better. We'll find out these things, you know. One thing I was thinking about, and I meant to speak about in this game. Now, I'm only going by my little experience in trying to learn this game. But see all these cards over here, and I'm not having a knock at anything or anything like that, right? Because I don't mind randomness. But all these cards are, yeah, they're random. I mean, I suppose, you know, going back to what did you at Omaha Beach, playing that game, you're drawing a card that's randomly going to target different colours, different symbols, blah, blah, blah. All these cards are like that. They're very random. You can't, there's no strategy in picking a card, you know. But I mean, I suppose that's what cards are for. They're shuffled up, you draw one, and you get what you get. You know, sometimes you get a good card, sometimes you get a bad card. I'm good with that. I'm just saying that there seems to be a lot of that there. Now, coming back to, well, you know, what cards I want to draw here, head on and tailed. To be honest, I'm not so sure you get great choices with how to go about. Well, sometimes you do. Sometimes you get to maneuver yourself better so that you are tailed or your head on, you're tailing. You would think coming up behind something is going to be the better thing. My experience with cards is sometimes it doesn't seem to pan out that way, but I've had very little experience with it, so it may well be that it is right. It is the best thing to do, coming on tailing. The other thing is, it depends what you use them. We've got Hurricanes here. We've got the choice of starting with Hurricanes or Spitfires. They vary in how they, you know, the cards will be different. I've got just the Hurricane cards out here. I put the Spitfire ones away because we're not going to be playing with them. And then, of course, the bombers, you've got light or medium bombers. So we don't know we do know what we're getting now, don't we? We're getting Stukas, so we're getting the light bomber cards. So in actual fact, I'll leave the medium ones there just now. I can shuffle these up and put them in place. You can see there's little spaces down the side that says, I only noticed that right at the end when I was setting things up, that there's spaces to say where the cards actually are meant to sit. I mean, I don't suppose that really matters. As long as you draw from the right deck, you're good. So we're using light bombers. There's obviously going to be slight differences between the light and the medium. And then you've got the advantage cards. Luftwaffe advantage clearly means that it's better for the Germans, and RF advantage means it's better for us. It seems more likely you're going to end up with Luftwaffe advantage in a lot of these things, it seems, the way I've been seeing it. And these escort reaction cards are probably, sometimes they're helpful. They've got helpful parts, but we'll see what happens. What am I trying to say here? I trying to say that there's a lot of randomness, and is there skills involved here? Is there strategy? I'm sure there is. I'm sure there's, here was me deciding, did I want to spend that fuel to be high in the tail? Here's me saying I'm going to split this off and have one go after the escorts, one go after the bombers. Whereas you guys that have played this game a few times are probably saying, cruise order, let's get, I don't know, let's get to the port, let's get to the port and get high in the port or on the nose or something. The more experience, I'm sure there's skills and strategies there that are good to use. I've just, I guess, just drawn these cards, and it's a bit like, oh, right, okay, it's there's just sometimes you think you're tailing some ME 109s, and you think, right, this is good, this should be good, and you draw the card and you think, that wasn't very good. It didn't really do me much good there. But anyway, right, let's just play the game and see how that pans out, Grant. And it's not that I'm complaining there at all. I just felt like the cards were pretty random. Like I've just said, I played lots of games like that have got random cards that do different things, and sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you don't. Okay, right. I'm gonna split these up, and we're gonna go escort, right? And you've got order counters here, so I'm gonna go escort for the well. Hang on, we're splitting this, so this is coming away. In fact, I'm gonna need another little blue ball coming up, because we're gonna have to put these both. So we're going to escort with A and with B. So I'll put this on that side just now. B, we're going to go after the bombers, aren't we? There we go. Okay, so that is, I think, our orders. Right. So let's go back to the card and see. Maybe move us on to other things. Yeah, you can see go to card. So we'll do the escort one. So go to card 13A, and we've got a bombers. We're going to go to card 16. It says formations that are on the reception map must be assigned in order, which I've done, or immediately return to base. If no formations, go to card 18. Well, that's not the case. So we're looking for card 13A to start with, which is maybe just the next card. It is, right? So we've got an escort order for our flight A. If the targeted escort station marker is light 109s or heavy 109s, yeah, it's heavy 109s, right? That's what we're going after with our escort. Well, that's our target, is to well, what it says here in the rulebook, this order instructs the formation to engage enemy fighters in a specific escort station. The formation won't actually move there, it will become lost contact. Usually the objective is to keep the Luftwaffe escort so busy that another of your formation can perform its order without interference. So these are going to become lost contact, but there's ways of getting them back to that. But okay, so yeah, that is the case. So heavy 109. So we're going to roll a die for each formation with an escort order and consult the interception escort table. Spending one fuel allows a reroll if desired. Then we're going to move every section that made the die roll to the lost contact area. We're going to leave the escort station marker where it is. And then if it succeeds, we're going to draw an RAF advantage card. If it fails, we're going to draw a Luftwaffe advantage card. So although this is a hard one to succeed at, that's not the important part. We're intercepting the escorts in the hope, I think, to suppress that escort station so that it then doesn't bother us in things to come. Or something like that, right? So we need, what do we need? the escort table. Is that on the map? Some of these are... No, it's the suppression one that's on the map. Right, hang on. Yeah, intercept escort. So it's on this side of the chart. The other one's got intercept bombers. So we're going to do this. And it's the escort one first because if you look at... Well, I'm following the cards anyway, but just to show that we've done our orders. We've now moved into intercept. And then the first one you check, you've got to follow these in this order. So it's escort first. So we're going to do that. We're going to either succeed and get an RAF advantage card or fail and get a Luftwaffe advantage card. And you'll see that that line is going to then take us along to a dogfight. Right? So no matter what, we're going to go and have a dogfight, right? Better if it's RAF advantage, that's more beneficial to us. And then after this, then we're going to try for the escort suppression check and see how we go in there. Then we moved out in the next order, which would be bombers. We've got something to do there, and then the last order would be cruise. We've not got any of that to do. So then once we've done that, we then move on. Okay, so intercept escort. Now we are on high. Oh, what was it again? Tail. It's tail, isn't it? I'm going to mess things up here. Have a look. Yeah, tail. But we are at high altitude because we spent that extra fuel to do that. So it's down here. We looked at this already. Now we don't have the sun. No, so we're not out of the sun. And what you get with that is you get to roll 2 dice and add them both together. So that's huge. And 2d12s we're talking about, right? So we are at high altitude. The escort type is 109s. So we're in this part, but we're along here. So we're along this row here. And then the escort station is at trailing. And just glance it up there. Right, you can see it's 109s, heavy 109s. There's nothing to mention heavy at this part. But that can come into it. So we're heavy 109s in the trailing station, and we are at the tail position at high altitude. Okay. So we are high 109s, trailing 5. Is that right? Yeah, I think it was good. It was good for this, and that's why we went high. Yeah, it was, because look at low. Low, we would have been 9. We would have needed a 9 here. But I suppose when you think about it, this isn't maybe quite as important, is it? See, and again, I'm going to learn these things. Because all this means is we're going to get RAF advantage, assuming we roll this number, over Luftwaffe advantage. We're still going to have to fight them. Anyway, okay, that's fine. Well, we need a 5 or better, right? To succeed at this. So let's zoom out. This is reasonably flat, this, but anyway, so I'm going to roll. So we're looking for a 5 or better. Oh my. Okay. Well, so much for that then. So we failed at that. Right, doesn't tell you anything there. I could probably see it. It's in intercept, escort. Here we are, success. Equal to or higher, dogfight is triggered, draw an RAF advantage card. Failure, lower, dogfight is triggered, draw a Luftwaffe advantage card for each section in the formation. Right. Okay. Right, let's get that ready. So one thing I think I've got to do now, what did I say I was going to do? I'm just going to put a lost contact little counter up here. Away up at the side of the board. I'll show you in a minute. I think I said I was going to do that. And then I'm just going to put everything up there. It's a way up here. I'll just put it in that area there. Because there might be a gathering of fighters that will go up there. But I think what happens, well, actually, what I can do, I can use this just now. So we're doing this escort. So I think this comes down here. And I want to say I can just take this away now because we know what we're kind of doing. That was its altitude block, so I can take that away as well. So A flight is now lost contact. That was right, isn't it? They were going lost contact no matter what, weren't they? Yeah, move every... Yeah, it tells you in the card, Grant. Roll a die for each formation when escort consult the interception. Yeah, each formation. We only had the one formation. It was flight A. And that is all of these guys. Now, while we're up there, it does mean that we flip these to lost contact. Just to show that they're both lost contact. Red and yellow. Right? And these are the ones that are going to be involved right now with this dogfight. Okay. Yeah. Right, so we failed. Fails, we're going to draw with 5-foot advantage card for each section that failed. Now, there's two sections. We've got red and yellow. Although they were part of the one formation, they're part of flight A, there is two sections, and they're going to attack both of them. So we're going to grab a Lufa advantage card for red. I'm just going to put that up there just now, and then one for the yellow as well. Okay. And yeah. And then it says we're going to go to card D1 Dogfight Cycle Subdeck, right? Okay. So there's the two cards. So I'm gonna move the sequence of play out of the way actually. It's probably easier. Well, in some ways it's easier. In other ways it's a stretch up the table here. Could I not bring them down? It just means I'm going to have to put them back, isn't it? I'll try and persevere with that up here. So we're going to have a dogfight, and we're just going to try and use the squadron display here. So I'm going to flip this card over. This is the first one, right? So the first look at the cards here. We've got Luftwaffe advantage. I don't know if I'm getting glare, but I think it's all right in the camera. So that's the silhouette of our either fighter or section. It's a section, right? And we're tailed by just the two planes, which is a Rota. It's Rota Swarm. Another name is, what is it, Keta. I think they're pronounced like that, something like that. So a Rota, a 109s, is two planes. It's one of these small counters, so it's like that, right? And you can see it's tailed, it's behind us. So basically that's going to go there, right? Right. I thought you weren't going to try and teach the game. I suppose I'm trying to make sure I'm doing it right, okay? But I'm maybe going into this in more detail than I intended, and I seem to always do this. Right, and this text also may apply, may not. A lot of the time it doesn't, I've found, but maybe as the game goes on, obviously. So it says, stay on them. If the German fighters are 110s, well, they're not, and it shows you the silhouette of the plane, you can see they're slightly different. Some of them are just showing the graphic of it, and you've got to make sure you're not, you're the right thing. I don't think this is a graphic of the planes. It depends on, the escort station that we're using is 109s, so it's not 110s. So if the German fighters are 110s, a veteran may replace this card with an RAF advantage card. Well, actual fact, if they were 110s, we do have a veteran pilot in that, so that would have been able to do that. However, they're not 110s, they're 109s. So they have a rota of 109s that are tailing us, right? So that's their advantage. So that can be discarded. It goes away. And now we have a dogfight, right? Now we've got to deal with this one first, this dogfight first, before we look at this and resolve that. So, right, let's use the dogfight cycle cards then. This might be a little awkward. Now I'm stretching up the table here, so I'll put the cards up here. Once you get around to working out how these cards work, though, it's pretty simple. So D1 says place fighters, and that it says apply the advantage cards event, right? That's what we've just done. We've drawn the advantage card, we've placed the fighter here, and the event didn't trigger, right? So it says consult the advantage card you drew to identify a German fighter type. What does that say? Messerschmitt's raid vector icon and failed channel patrol checks always generate 109s, right? I guess that's the event you actually get. Place the German fighters next to an area formation or fighter in the attitude directed by the advantage card. And attitude is for dogfights, it's tailed, or you could be tailing. So that's us tailed, that's us tailing, and that's head on. Right, that's the three attitudes you can get in a dogfight. When we're attacking bombers, there's some other, you got flank, you can come in from the flank. And you can't be tailed by bombers, I don't think. So they're actually, you're either tailing them, you're head on them, or you're flanking them. But anyway, we'll get to that. Right, so that's what the attitude is. So then we move on to the second card of the dogfight cycle. So is it head-on combat? No, it's not. So that's the first part. And again, if you look at the sequence of play, it's got the dogfight cycle, it shows you that on that. But I suppose I've decided to use these cards, so we'll stick with that. Resolve any head-on combat, it says, right, after resolving head-on combat, or if there's no head-on combat, go to card D3A, tailed maneuver. Right, so then we move to the next card. D3A, tailed maneuver. Right, and because we're being tailed, and one of the things I've got to keep switching on to this one is, one of the restrictions is if you happen to have a hit marker on part of your section, or even if it's an individual aircraft, then you cannot manoeuvre, which I feel like that's one that might catch me out, but we'll try and avoid that. So it says, before resolving a tailed combat, you may select a manoeuvre for the tailed RAF section or fighter. Slip manoeuvre is only available, slip manoeuvre is available only to a section. Well, we are a section, so we can do that. And there it reminds you, if an RAF fighter has a hit marker attached, it and or its section may not select a manoeuvre. If the tailed RAF fighter manoeuvres, it also lets any German fighter it is tailing go. Remove the German fighter marker for play. Yeah, that's the other thing. If we happen to be tailing a German fighter up here, then and we do manoeuvre, then it just gets to escape. We'll let it go. So you've got to consider that as well. You might not want to let it go because you're behind it and positioned well and whatever. So if you choose not to select a mover, you may resolve tailing combat after surviving the tailed combat. Well, we're not tailing anyway, so it makes we should try a maneuver. I think if you're not tailing anything, I don't think you would want to not try a maneuver, so we're going to try a maneuver. Now there's 3 different maneuvers. Where are they about? I suppose the player aid card would be the simplest place to just maybe look at these. So hang on a sec. Right, so here's the 3 maneuvers you can make. Sort of a cut down version of it, without going into the rule, because and remember, slip can only be used as a section. We are a section though at this time, so we can use that. Evade allows you to draw 2 tailed dogfight cards instead of 1. We select 1, so we get to pick the better one for us. If we're still tailed, we reduce the Luftwaffe fighter marker, which means we flip that rota marker. Is it rota? Rotte. It's ROTTE, rota. Rota and Keta. I think that's how I'm going to pronounce them. Rota. So we flip that, which is 2, over to its other side, which is going to become a 1. You know, it's a 2. We flip it over, it becomes a 1. That doesn't count as a kill or anything like that. It's just we get to reduce that. It says then if a section, which we are, one area fighter may become independent. L, and that's a loose result. The Luftwaffe fighter marker may follow it. So then we can basically break off one of our 3 fighters and then force what's left to follow it rather than the other 2. I think that's what happens. There is just something to remind that, although we're lost contact anyway, aren't we? That's the L. Sorry, I'm not showing you that. That's the L part of the result there, loose. The area fighter becomes independent, is now lost contact. Well, we're lost contact anyway. If the section is tailed, you may have the Luftwaffe fighter marker tail the area fighter. So that's the first of the 2 options. Draw 2 cards, pick the best, right? Let's just look at the turn one first. Remember, this is the only one you can use. You have to have a section for this, which we've got. But let's look at the turn one. So it says tight turn. If the tight turn icon, so if you get this icon on the card in the right position, which we'll look at just now, if it appears as a result on the dogfight card, you will move the Luftwaffe fighter marker so that it's head on and then ignore all other results except the one inside the tight turn icon. So basically it shows you the diagram there. At the moment we're being tailed, so we resolve the combat and then we move that to the front of us so that we're head on. So which is, I think, slightly better. But also the result within the turn bit is generally better than the normal outcome. So that's a good one too. Yeah, well, I mean, it depends. If you don't get that icon at all turning up in the bit, the result, then it's pointless. It doesn't do anything for you. And you don't get, hang on, maybe you do. No, you need to have the tight turn icon show up, Grant. It shows you there, it tells you there. If that appears, you'll move the Luftwaffe fighter so it's head on. So you need that to appear to get that bit and also benefit from what's in that rather than the other. Right, and then the other one, slip. Section only, you attempt to slip one area fighter behind the Luftwaffe fighter marker. So this is the wee icon you look for here. If the slip icon appears on the dogfight card, the manoeuvre succeeds and all other results are ignored. So it's the same as the... No, it's not the same as the turn one. It's not, because there's different bits. But if you get that on the card, everything else doesn't matter. So that's great. And then you place one area fighter behind the Luftwaffe fighter marker. So this example here shows a section that's got 2 aircraft, and then basically you move that one behind it now. So that's how it finishes. But also, yeah, it says place one area fighter behind the Luftwaffe fighter marker. That Luftwaffe fighter marker then breaks off from the section tailed by the area fighter. It is now an independent area fighter. That Luftwaffe fighter marker then breaks off from the section. So I think that means if we do that, it means that that's no longer tailing that, it's being tailed by us. Is that right? I think so. Yeah, okay. So we get the choice of either one of them. So what are we going to do? Well, a lot of the results you get in this are a vanish result. And it means this just goes away. You just, you lose it, it moves on or whatever. And what we're doing right now, we're not really wanting to be fighting with us, or the plan here is to try and disrupt this heavy escort station. Disrupt, is that right? The right word? I don't think it's disrupt. But anyway, that's what we're trying to do. Yeah, and that tells you on the thing, right? What is it? Oh, I can't mind. We'll get to it anyway. But one of the benefits, it's on the suppression. That's there. It's on the map. That's one of the ones that's on the map. So yeah, quite look at this though. So this is quite important if we can suppress this. Sorry, this here. And that's what we're trying to do, I think. So when it comes to that part of the sequence of play, we're going to roll on this table. So how many fighters have we got engaged in this part, this escort suppression part, if you like, escort intercept? We've got 6 fighters. So we're going to be looking at this column, which is slightly better than if we just had only 2 or 3 fighters. It's a heavy any type station. We're not involved in this circle bit. I'm pretty clueless about the circle thing, but we'll see. I'm sure it'll start appearing maybe. So, but if we were just 2 to 3 fighters, we need an 11 to reduce it and an 8 to suppress it. And the reduction means flip it from heavy to light. Doesn't say light on it, but that's light. So that's a reduction, and suppress it is just use this marker that we used. It's got the escort on one side. You flip it over, it's got escort suppress. So that would then put that on it, and then that doesn't count for other bad things that might happen until that comes off again. When there's a part in the sequence of play that removes that, so that's a temporary thing. But what I was getting around to was, so the more fighters we got, the better chance we got. We would be rolling on that. So a 9 to reduce it, a 5 to suppress it. However, one of the extra benefits is if a German fighter was destroyed within this escort interception, right, we would get a +1, and it's not cumulative that, it just says if a German fighter was destroyed, we get a +1, so we get a +1 in this die roll. So that's a bit of a reason maybe to try and do something to this guy rather than have him just disappear. How important that is, I don't know. We need a 5 really on the die. That would mean we needed a 4. The best chances probably we've got at maybe doing something to it, I want to say, are maybe doing the slip or the turn rather than the evade. So why don't we try a slip? Right, where are these? That's evade and turn. Where's slip about? Is it in here as well? It must be all in this bit. Got evade, turn. Right, is the slip on something else? Sorry, I'm messing about here and not finding what I'm looking for. Now, give me a sec. That wasn't that bit, it was just hiding. Right, so we're going to do a slip manoeuvre on this, right? Okay. My grand, 44 minutes. Okay, so that's us done our manoeuvre. Yeah, actually I think it might tell us here on the card. No, that's right. So we've done our manoeuvre. And you can only do this when you're in tailed combat, right? We can only do this when we're being tailed. So it says resolve. I'm actually having a look in the camera to read that. It's quite far away from me. Right, resolve combat for the tailed RAF section or tailed independent fighter. Draw a dogfight card from the tailed deck. Apply the results for the tailed side. Read and apply all result icons on the card. After resolving tail combat, or if there is no tail combat, we go to step D4, tailing combat. Okay, So we're going to draw a card, and that's going to come from, you can see there's two decks for the Hurricanes dogfights. We've got head on and tailing and tailed. So we're going to draw a card from the tailed. Just come back up here, and remember we are wanting a slip result here. So okay, here we go. We draw the card. Now we are Hurricanes, which all these cards are. It's Hurricanes from the start, so that's not important. This would be if we're a section. This would be if we were just fighter that was alone. But we're a section, right? This would be if we were if we're fighting in 109s. This would be if it was 110s. So you see that wee slip icon there. If it had been 110s, we would have ignored everything because we would have got the slip. However, it's 109s against the section, so this applies. Now, it doesn't all apply because this bit only applies if you would have done a turn manoeuvre. We didn't do a turn manoeuvre, so this is what's going to apply here. Right, and we've got 3 icons there. We've got a little fuel icon, we've got a little hit marker icon, and we've got a reduction icon. Okay, so quick look at these, and yeah, I'm starting to go far more into detail than I had planned. So quickly looking, there's the fuel icon, which isn't good to start us. It says, spend 1 fuel, slide the section's fuel marker 1 space to the right in the fuel track. Okay. And you can choose to do these in any order you want. And sometimes it might be beneficial to change up the order. If I see that's going to be beneficial to change it up, I might change it en route. But I'll try and do them from left to right because I might get mixed up myself. So spend 1 fuel. And remember, this is red. It's red section. So red section are going to have to spend 1 fuel. So that comes along there. Okay. And the next one's a hit marker. It's a hit. So draw a hit marker and attach it to that AF fighter. Right. So I've got a selection of hit markers in a wee container here. I'm going to randomly pick one of them out. And we look at this side, that's a pretty good one. The lower the better, because we need to roll equal to or better than that to avoid fate, shall we say. So it is an engine, it's an engine hit, but it's only a number 5, it's only a 5. Right, and then what I forgot to do, but I mean, I don't think it matters if you do these one way or the other. Right, these are die rolls. I'm just going to, we can take this slip marker away now, actually. We didn't get the slip anyway, so. Yeah, this is a die roll I'm not going to bother about showing you on camera unless it comes down to an important bit. So you can see that there's a 1 to 4 here, a 5 to 8 here, and a 9 to 12. That represents each 3 of these. If there's only 2 of them left, whatever's on the left is an even die roll, and whatever's on the right is an odd die roll. So I'm just gonna roll this off camera, and this is who's going to receive this hat. I mean, okay, I dare say I could be concerned about which, because of pilots and all that, but there's too much to and froing, you know. So I'm just gonna believe me, right? I rolled a 5, so it is. So it's a leader, right? It's a leader. Oh, that's you, Martin, isn't it? Yeah, it's Ackland. Yeah. So he's got the 5 engine hit on him, right? Okay. Right, and then the final icon here is an R, and this is reduce, and it just says 1 German fighter flies away. So that's not the best. What that means is that just flips over, and one of them's flew away, but there's still one of them there tailing us. That is the end of that card, and that is the end of the first round of dogfight. Now we're then not finished. That goes away in the discard pile. Oops. Now does it tell us here in the card? After resolving tailed combat. Yeah, see, we've not. Yeah, no, we need to just keep going through the tailed combat, don't we, Grant? I think so. Where's the... Where it? Yeah, we do tailed, we manoeuvre. Then we check for tail line combat. There's none of that. Oh, we need to check. We need to do the hit check. Right. Okay. Why does it not have it in this? I mean, I suppose it just says, because the next card is going to be tail in combat. Well, hold on. After resolving tail combat, or if there's no tailed combat, go to step T4, tail in combat, right? Then we draw that card, and it says, if an RAF section of independent fighters, tail in German fighter mark card, decide whether to... If you conduct... Yeah, I don't do that. So I then move on to the next card, which is hit checks. And then I'm going to check this hit marker. I suppose, I don't know, I'm a little confused. No, I'm sure I'm doing that right. Here's the dogfight cycle on the player aid. So we do a dogfight. We check for head on. There was nothing head on. We check for tailed and we manoeuvre if we can. We did that. We now check for tailing. There's no tailing. We now hit check, and then if it's severe, that unit's going to go to the fate box. If it's trivial, we move on. Then we resume. If we're still engaged, we would be lost contact. But we're lost contact anyway. If we're not engaged, we just go back to where we were at. But we are still engaged with that one fighter, although I've not done the hit check yet. So we would resume again, go back to dogfight, check for head on, there's none of that, then check for tailed. Now, we might be able to manoeuvre, but that's going to be bad news because... No, it's not going to be bad news. Sorry. Because we're wanting... That hit marker is going to go away, because that's going to come first. And, well, the bad news is if we don't roll a 5 or better, because then that unit's going to go to the fate box. But we will still then be able to manoeuvre. Right, so we should be at the hit check step. I'm sure I've got this right. Yeah. So, basically, what we need to do now is, without... Yeah, I feel like I'm going too far into this. I'm going to roll, if I get equal to or greater than that, you can see it on the card. If equal to or greater is trivial, that goes back into the cup. If I get less than that number, then that's going to go to the engine fate box, right? If there was other hit markers on it, yeah, you would chuck them away as well. If it goes to the fate box, the rest are considered trivial. Blah blah blah. So we need to roll a 5 or better here. Or our veteran pilot is... Okay, good. We're in. 9. Good stuff. Right. Well, that was a good hit marker, because a lot of them are like 9s, 10s and 11s. So that just comes away, goes back in the cup. That was just a trivial hit. Wasn't nothing doing. So we've done our hit checks. We then draw the next card, and it said resume. If the section or independent ally fighters still engaged with German fighters, they are lost contact. And we move them to the lost contact area. And then we go back to card D2 and play the next dogfight round. Okay, so we turn these over. We don't need to place fighters because they're already there. So then we go head-on combat. There's no head-on combat. We'll do tail manoeuvre. Now we can manoeuvre. We're not hit. We've got one fighter there. So I think maybe this time we'll just evade. Well, mind you, we have a chance of hitting that guy. It'd be good to hit and give ourselves an extra chance to suppress the escort station. Should I try a turn, maybe? Actually, I think I will do the evade, because the benefit to the evade is that if they're still tailing us at the end, we draw 2 cards, And if they're still tailing us, we get to reduce this. I mean, okay, it doesn't count as a hit. It doesn't count as us killing it. That's the only thing. You know, I thought you said you were going to try and take it out. Let's try a turn then. Let's try a turn. So I'm going to do that, and we're going to do a turn maneuver. Okay, so I've done that, and then we're going to do the tail combat. And like you see, you can see that we're not going to have to cycle through these cards. I'm certainly not going to do it and show you. I might mess about with them myself, just to keep myself right off camera, but I don't want to have to keep doing this. But so where am I? I'm drawing a card. I'm drawing a tailed card, but looking for a turn. Right, so here we go. Tailed Hurricane card. We're looking for a turn. It's a section against a 109. Yes, that's good. We've got it. Oh, it's not the best though. See, that's the thing. Well, if we hadn't done the turn and or done a slip, shall we say, this is a result we're getting because we're a section and they're 109, so it's that one there. So if we hadn't done the turn, if we'd done a slip, all these would have applied. So we would have lost on our fuel, we would have took a hit, and then he would have vanished. However, because we'd done the turn, we're taking a hit. That's it. That's the only result. However, if you remember that for the turn it says, if it appears a result on the dogfight card, you will move the Luftwaffe fighter marker so that it's head on, and then ignore all other results except the one inside the tight turn icon, if any. Oh, did I do the wrong thing? Oh, yeah. I'm thinking it's going away, but it's not, is it? That was the evade. Yeah, well, I did say I wanted to try and take it out. So we're taking a hit, right? And then it's moving. Because we've done the turn, we basically turned round about behind it. Well, not behind it, turned round about so we're facing it. So now we're head on. We've still to take a hit. I'm going to roll the dice to see who's taking the hit. Again, just do that off camera. Rolled an 11. So it's going to be red 2. I'm going to draw a hit marker for him. We're drawing... Oh, we're getting lucky with these up to now. 4 wing. So that goes on that. When I first started playing about with this a bit, I didn't want to put the markers on top because these are nice. They look nice, the graphic and whatever. I didn't want to put them on top, and I was starting to put them down the side. I dare say I could do that a little bit here, but see when things get a bit mess, when things get all, yeah, you kind of have to stack them on top. You'll see when it gets like that later. So that was that card done, and like I say, because we'd done the turn, we only received that result, the hit. So that goes away. Now, we'll stick with the cards for now. I'm not going to do this next turn though, I think. So then we do tailing combat. Well, that's not tailing, it's head on. So that doesn't apply. Then we do hit checks. So again, we need a 4 or greater for this to become just a trivial hit. $11, good. Nice numbers here. So basically that just comes off again. No harm done. And then that's our hit checks done. And then we resume. So we go back to the beginning, again, because we're still engaged. We don't do that one, we do this one. Right, so now we're head-on combat. Right, so it says resolve any head-on, draw a dogfight card from the head-on tailing, apply the results, read and apply the results. After resolving head-on, or if there's no head-on, we go to tail. Well, we'll see what we get for... So this time it's not from the tail deck, it's from the head-on and tailing. So we're going to draw a card from that. It's a section against 109s. So you can see that we've got tailing and head-on here. So we're doing head-on. We are a section. they are 109, so all this is going to apply. Yuck. Well, he's going to vanish, so we are getting rid of him, but we're never hit him there. You know, you kind of hope that this was slightly better than being tailed, but I don't know. So the C, we've not seen the C. We could speak about the L, and there's the vanish, and we know about the hit, right? So quite look at these. Like I say, I'm not going to go through these all the time. Right, C is collision, so it's quite important, I guess, because we could both just die here. Right, roll a die. If a 1, the pilot is killed and the German fighter or bomber is destroyed. I would assume we're 3 fighters here, so I would have to randomise which one it was. But let's just roll and see if we, unfortunately, get that 1 result. Right, we got a 12, so we get the opposite. So that does nothing. And then the next result on the card, well, like I say, you can do them in any order. And sometimes it does matter. Not right here, I don't think. So the next one we'll do is the L, so it's loose. So it says the area fighter becomes independent and has now lost contact. If the section is tailed, you may have the area the Luftwaffe fighter marker tail the area fighter. Hang on a sec. Right, sorry, I had to go away there a second. So it was loose, the area fighter becomes independent and has now lost contact. If the section is tailed, you may have the Luftwaffe fighter marker tail the area fighter. Well, we know the Luftwaffe fighter's going away. So, but we still need to loose one of the fighters then. Yeah. And I guess that needs to be randomised as well. So let's randomise that. I wasn't going to bother showing you the ones, but I've rolled a 2. So that's going to be the fighter that's loose. I think that's number 3, 1 to 4, yeah. So he becomes loose, so he breaks off. I mean, they're all lost contact anyway. Yeah, I'm a little unsure how that works. Does that now mean... yeah, I think they are now detached from the section. Okay, well, look, I've managed to get to an hour there without doing an awful lot, as usual. So I'm probably just going to stop this. It is a bit late as well. I was hoping, we're waiting to do, we've got a Luftwaffe Advantage card to do on the yellow as well, but I'll just come back and do that in the morning. But I'm not quite finished there. That was the C and the L. So that means vanish. Where's that icon? Yeah, there it is. So vanish, again, there's better explanations of this in the rules, but it says remove this Luftwaffe fighter marker. This does not count as a kill, right? So that means that the 109 that we had left goes away, basically. So we didn't kill any of them at all. And then the final icon is a hit on us. So I'm assuming he can be involved in this as well, because I've done that in that way that becomes loose. Yeah. I think the 3 of them both count. And of course, I could have done the hit first while they were still like that. Anyway, I'm not sure if this is... Well, I suppose I can leave that question there. If somebody wants to maybe just confirm that one with me. If the fact that this was loose, if I do that in that order and he becomes loose, then we've got to resolve a hit. Does this still count? I think it does. What I'm going to do to play safe though, but I will leave the question there. What I'm going to do to play safe is I'm going to do the hit before the loose. So the hit is going to be on 12. So it's going to be on number 2. And I'm going to draw a random hit marker. beforehand. We're still getting lucky. Oh, see, it's getting better. We've got a 5, a 4, and a 3. I didn't even think there was 3. There was such a thing as a 3. I'll tell you. There you go. So we'll put that on first. We'll say we've done that first, and then we'll do the loose result. I think it still affects all 3. I'm sure somebody will confirm that for me. So that's that. That was all the results there. So that was head on and tail and card. So I can go there. And then, so that's us done head on. Now there's nothing left. That's us. There's no tailed maneuver to do, and there's no tailed combat, and then there's no. There's no tailing combat. However, there is a hit check to do, so we need to beat a 3 or 3 or better to avoid some damage again. And we're getting nice high results. That's a 10 as well, which is maybe a bit of a waste on a 3, but however, we'll take it. So no damage done at all to us, so that was good. We've got this one that's become loose, and then resume says once if the section or independent RAF fighters still engaged with any German fighters, they are lost contact. Well, we're not engaged anymore. If the section or independent RAF is no longer engaged, check for other engaged sections or independent RAF fighters and return to D2 for the next dogfight. Well, that is going to happen because we need to check this and do this dogfight as well. So that's going to return to D2. Well, actually, no, hang on. If the section or independent fighter in this dogfight is no longer engaged, check for other engaged sections. Well, no. There's nothing that's engaged yet. If no fighters engaged, return to the main deck and resume whichever sequence, interception or raid vector the patrol was in. No, I think... we definitely have to now go and resolve this one. I'm sure that's right. So we're going to have to go and resolve that one and basically do the place fighters for that. And that's apply the advantage card for that. Right? But because it's kind of late and the video's stretched, who would have thought? I got a little done again, but okay. Well, I do want to take it slow, and I'm not. I'm going to try and not go through as much, though. I feel like I don't want to start flipping these cards all the time. I'll maybe flip them off camera to keep myself right, like I've said. But this process becomes quite simple. And then the bomber one's different, but it becomes quite simple as well. So there are 2 cycles that you can deal really without the cards or that. The other parts of the game, I'm going to be looking at the cards a bit more carefully, I think, to keep me right. But okay, well, I've enjoyed how things have kicked off. Hopefully, I can get the first part watched tonight, maybe before bed, and I like to watch them back before I release them to the public, just in case there's anything that I don't know that I spot that's not quite right or might have said something wrong. And before I get out there, and we can get some feedback if I'm doing anything terribly wrong with that. But yeah, it's looking okay up to now. So I'll be back tomorrow for more, for sure. Now that I've got this started, I'm ready to go. So hopefully I can speed it up a little. No guarantees. Cheers.